but this is the biggest news. There is a new Star Wars trilogy development. Let me bring up the story here. This is episode 10, 11, and 12. Simon Kinberg has been tapped by Lucasfilm to write and produce. Not just write, produce it. This presumably would be the continuing adventures of the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. That is Rey Skywalker. We will see her continuing adventures, and Finn and Poe, Chewbacca, the droids, Lando Calrissian. So Simon Kinberg, known for such films as the X-Men movies that were not very good, quite frankly. So the story here, if I read it, is all BS, regurgitating things we already know. But this is yet another announcement of something where there's a whole bunch of other announcements. And it even says in the story, insiders disputed my intel that Kinberg will continue that storyline, saying this instead will begin a new saga and sit alongside percolating Star Wars projects with James Mangold, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, Taika Waititi, and Donald Glover. As usual, Lucasfilm and Disney are not commenting, but that's the rumor. Are you excited about an episode 10, 11, and 12, Alan?
Well, first, I'm confused. Where does the Rey movie fit in all this?
That's exactly right. Is the Rey movie separate? Is this a continuation of the saga, as they say?
Well, I mean, it is the continuation of the saga, just because they're officially calling it 10 through 11 or 10 through 12. You know, I mean, I think the first reaction everyone had when reading this was, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you could do worse than Simon Kinberg. But, you know, the biggest issue is where we were left off after Rise of Skywalker. You know, who cares? Who cares? Or even worse, where do you envision Star Wars moving from here after Rise of Skywalker?
I think getting away from the Skywalker family, and if you start a whole new trilogy with new characters, who cares? Who cares ultimately? I think the only people we can guarantee will be in it is R2 and 3PO, because they're just, you know, behind the mask, right? Well, Kenny Baker has passed away, so there's no one in the R2 outfit. It's just a robot, an actual. It's an RC. It's an RC, a fancy RC car on set, to be frank. And then C-3PO, they're gonna have somebody else play that. I don't know. I think the only thing you can guarantee is the droids will be in it. They're the connecting fabric. It could be all new characters, and the Rey movie separately will basically wrap up her story, and there'll be a whole new set of characters. But check this out, thanks to Atomic Lori from Culture Crave, every Star Wars thing in development. Can you see this, Alan?
No, but
let me zoom in on it, and we'll start from the top, okay? Let me zoom in. Give you wait, I can't. Here's what I'll figure out how to do it here. But there are a lot of things in development here, which is why this it's sort of like there needs to be some follow-up. I mean, they generally don't cancel projects. They just stop talking about them. I'll zoom in on this so you can see it better here. But here's the status of all the upcoming Star Wars film projects. All right, let's take a look. Let me zoom in. Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me reset this. Start from the top. I want to count. Use your fingers. So we got 3. Okay, I'm counting. You read.
Okay, Star Wars. I'm going from the top. Simon Kinberg's Star Wars trilogy, Mandalorian and Grogu, the new Jedi Order, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie. There's Lando. There's Dave Filoni's untitled Star Wars movie. Taika Waititi's untitled Star Wars movie. Sean Levy's untitled Star Wars movie.
Wait, that's 10.
It's 10, yeah. Rogue Squadron, and then Rian Johnson's trilogy. It's weird that one's on there still.
All of these were announced.
Yep.
This is from Culture Crave. These are all the announced projects from Lucasfilm movies, not TV, movies. And by my count, that is 14 films. Disconnected, some in different eras. The new Jedi Order is the Daisy Ridley movie, the follow-up to Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Mandalorian and Grogu is kind of standalone. Simon Kinberg's trilogy is something new, episodes 10 through 12. The James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movie is 25,000 years before. Lando was going to be a TV show, but it's now being done by Donald and Stephen Glover. Donald Glover, of course, plays Lando. I thought he was very good. I thought he was good. I really like Donald Glover actually a lot. Dave Filoni's movie, which wraps up all of the TV shows, kind of brings all those storylines. Taika Waititi's movie announced. Sean Levy, Jonathan Tropper is writing it. The Rogue Squadron with Patty Jenkins sounded promising. Nothing on that. And Rian Johnson announced, never canceled. What do we think of this?
I mean, first of all, I think a lot of these projects are done, and they're just in a way of saving face by just not talking about it. And then the more I read this, it's exclusive from Deadline, but is it true? I guess it's more. It's been disputed by multiple sources that it's 10 through 12. So there's still a little cloud of mystery behind it. But, other than Mandalorian Grogu, I question everything else, if it's going to come out or not. It just shows you the state that Lucasfilm is in. They're just throwing shit on the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think these are going to happen, quite frankly.
Yeah. Like I said, only one is guaranteed to happen, and that's Mandalorian and Grogu.
I think the Rey movie may end up happening, not because of Shamina Baid-Chinoy, the director, but because they cannot do Daisy Ridley dirty like that. I think it would be a humiliation for her, and I can't see them doing it. But what they never do, they never unannounce a movie. Once announced, it sort of sits there in development. And by the way, this is not unusual. If you go to any studio, they have a wall. I've been there. I've been in the rooms where they have a wall of scripts on the side, all written in a Sharpie is the name of the movie. Tons of things. Everything that exists is in development, but you don't announce it. You develop secretly, and then when the money comes together, then you announce it. Like, okay, we've got the money, the cast, the schedule. We're in production, shooting on this date. Boom, announce. But to announce all this stuff while it's in development is very unwise. You've lost the trust of fans.
Well, I think
thoughts before we go to comments.
I mean, wasn't the rumor like so the new Jedi Order? I mean, I think what everyone was saying was that it just felt like that Lucasfilm was trying to announce something for the sake of announcing something, and whether it was really happening or not. The other thing is, when you have a project in development, are there things that happen when you cancel something that you would want to not happen? So therefore, you just keep the project in limbo. Meaning, like, are there rights that they have? Are there contracts with actors? Is there money that has to be paid out if a production doesn't go forward? I think you know more about it than I do. But am I just speaking out of my ass, or is there something to it?
I don't know why they're doing this. I think it's really about preserving Kathleen Kennedy preserving her position
Mhm.
because she has so much going on. How could they, she has to stay there to oversee these projects. So I really don't see anything changing dramatically until she leaves. But she doesn't have the power to greenlight a project because each of these projects costs in the hundreds of millions of dollars. She can develop anything she wants. She can't make it unless she gets approval from above. And I think she's using announcements as a form of leverage to basically maintain her position.